Folks, I want to show you this game because the small things in chess are important. They're just as important as the quote, air quote, big things in chess. There's no difference. The small things are the big things. In this game, I played a strong 1900 player on a blitz game, a 3-minute blitz game for my Twitch streaming channel. Anyway, I think this is very instructive, this game. Also, I have my microphone broke, so I'm using this microphone right now as I'm waiting for my microphone to come in, which should come in a few weeks. But right now, I'm using this very budget-friendly microphone, so let me know in the comment section below how you feel about it. Anyway, let's get into this game. Right now, there's a very principled thematic move here, and that's knight e4. It's not the only move my opponent can play. However, knight e4 is a very natural, normal move to play, a very simple move to find if you look at the principles of chess. The knight wants to be in the center. The pieces want to play in the center. You want to control the center. Also, you want to hone in on weak squares. Also, if you know a little bit more advanced knowledge of this position, white has a spatial advantage. And you see this a lot in the French. What happens with the spatial advantage? You want to chop away at the center. Now, I can't chop away at it like this because he can take, and then my pawn is weak. However, I could chop away at it with f6, and f6 is what he has to worry about. That opens up my rook. It actually opens up my bishop to this diagonal, and that is a problem he should be, again, if he plays knight e4, which is not the only move, but it's a very simple move to find, and it's not really a computer move. Again, it's not the number 1 computer move. It's not even the number 4 computer move. But it's a very simple move that works, and it holds on to the game. And it's a move that most people can find, I think. And that's why I'm choosing that move. Now, he played a3. And what if I told you that after a3, my opponent's completely losing? Not like completely, utterly losing, but he's losing. He's negative 2.1, right? And that is because I can play f6. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you why. I play f6 in this game. My opponent plays rook e1, which is an excellent move according to the computer. And my opponent's playing good moves now, but it's too little too late. He plays knight takes e5. Again, how would you go about handling this situation? Because again, it's the little things in chess that matter. Would you take the knight? Would you play bishop f6? Well, if you take the knight with the idea of queen takes, the queen's attacking your queen, so now you have to take. And if this was your idea, that after all this you would hit the rook and the knight, it would not work because the rook comes back, protects itself, and protects the knight, and you're not winning any material, and you just threw away your advantage. You're still better, but you threw away a big advantage. So the best way to play is bishop f6, and now my opponent again played the best move, f4, to hold on to the knight, but it's too little too late. We just push the knight off the edge of that cliff, proverbially, metaphorically, of course. And now the knight that's pinned is being attacked by the pawn. If he can take with check, that would be helpful because then he can get out of the way. He would have time. In this position, he can't. So he attacks my knight. The only problem is he doesn't have enough time because we can take and attack the queen. So I'm attacking the queen, so he doesn't have time to take the knight, because if he did, I would take the queen, not to mention with check. So he moves out of the way, and now I take the knight, and now I'm forking both rooks. So now he has to take my bishop. However, he doubles down, and he takes my knight. Now again, the little things in chess. I can take either rook. Which one do I take? Notice how I take the most active one. This one's in the corner. This one has to develop itself. I take the most active one, the one that's already involved in the game potentially. So these little decisions you make, if you make the right decisions on all the little things, they will add up throughout the course of a chess game, and you will come out with a sizable position, if not a completely winning position. Okay, again, the little things. My opponent takes. I don't take back and put my king in a vulnerable position. I use this as an umbrella pawn. Again, we're up a lot of material here. There's no need to get greedy and get a pawn here. I just want to make sure my king is safe so I can clean up the game, consolidate the advantage, and win and not worry about any, cheap tricks, so to speak. Okay, throwing a check. And now I just play in the center. My opponent's trying to go for a mate at some point, but my queen's protecting. So I ignore it and I play in the center, and I'm attacking the queen. He moves out of the way. I develop and attack the queen again. I develop. I consolidate now. My rooks are on the open file. And now the theme of the game, the small things, isn't not really relevant at this point, but I'll just show you how this game ended because it is also another principled thing. A lot of times when you're losing, you just kind of have to bunker down, create some type of fortress if you can, and just play good moves. Just look to play good moves and wait for your opponent to possibly make a mistake, especially in blitz chess. However, a lot of times players lash out, and that's what my opponent did. He lashed out, and this is just speeding up the inevitable. He opened up this whole diagonal to his king. I immediately pounced on it. I hit him with another discovered check. Now I have this diagonal open to the king and this diagonal, and my opponent here resigned because the only move he has is this, which leads to checkmate. Anyway, hopefully you guys found that video helpful. If you did, check out this one and subscribe, please. And also check out my Twitch channel when you get a chance. Go play some chess.